For the first time ever, I'm playing Legacy Enchantress, the deck that draws cards using Argothian Enchantress, Enchantress's Presence, and Sith's Harvest Hand, and then wins with Rest in Peace plus Helm of Obedience. Let's go see the deck list. Quick announcement before we begin today. So if you've watched my last two videos, I've had some issues with audio clipping when I'm ending sentences with soft syllables. Today, I've made two things to change that. One, I'm standing a little bit closer to my microphone, and the second thing is I've changed the open and close gate on my microphone, so hopefully we don't have any issues. Back to Legacy, back to drawing cards with green creatures and enchantments. So if you've thought about Enchantress in the past, you might be familiar with the key card of this deck, Argothian Enchantress, a 2-mana 0/1 creature with Shroud, not hexproof, and whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you draw a card. And this has been a key part of the deck since pretty much forever. And then usually you would pair this with Solitary Confinement from Judgment, which says that you have Shroud, you can't take damage, you can't be the target of spells, you don't get a draw step, and then at the beginning of every upkeep you have to discard a card. So you would theoretically lock your opponent out of the game. This isn't playing this. In fact, this list is so combo focused, I felt like it was finally time to play Enchantress here at the Epic Storm. And you know, props to the person that went 5-0 with this list. It's truly sweet. When you look at it, we're really a deck that is looking to assemble Rest in Peace alongside Helm of Obedience. And that wins the game because Helm of Obedience mills until you mill a creature to their graveyard. They don't have a graveyard, so it never checks. And from there, you deck your opponent. The alternative way to win is with Destiny Spinner. This is from Theros Beyond Death, the same set as Underworld Breach and Uro. Creatures and enchantments you control can't be countered, but people often forget about the second line, where you pay 4 mana, turn one of your lands into a creature equal to the number of enchantments you have, and you attack for lethal. So we're past the days that you have to play a clunky 5-mana enchantment to make 4/4 Angels, or Emrakul the Aeon Storm that has no synergy with your deck. Instead, Enchantress became a lot more lean, and I'm really a fan of this new combo-oriented style. That's what we're playing today. Hopefully you enjoy it, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and if you would like to see more decks like this in the future. Alright, I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw against Julian Knob, who used to be the Elves expert and recently has been playing a lot of Painter Servant combo. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. A little bit of an enchantment expert himself, clearly. Julian has 3 cards left in hand. Alright, we're going to play Prismatic Vista and pass the turn. Fable goes to the second chapter. Julian can discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. The Goblin attacks. It creates a treasure token. We'll take 2 down to 18. Arid Mesa. Okay. Playing white today, I see. Another Fable. Yeah. Okay. In our upkeep, I will go to 17. We'll grab a basic forest. Draw for turn. Rest in Peace. That doesn't really do a whole lot at the moment, so I don't think I'm going to play it. And instead, we'll play our lands and play Sith's Harvest Hand. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 1 life and draw a card. How this is different from Argothian Enchantress is it doesn't have Shroud, and it gains life pretty much. Obviously, the power toughness difference, it costs a white, blah, blah, blah. But really, the important line of text is that it doesn't protect itself using Shroud. Discards Grindstone. Okay. We're going to take 4 here. We go to 13. No blocks. A 3rd Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Alright, Julian, you're the enchantment deck. I'm sorry that I, didn't believe you. Swords to Plowshares. I don't love that. Alright, so we draw another land. I can bounce the... hold on. Oh, it's not legendary. I think I knew that, and I just wasn't thinking. That's my bad. Alright, we'll play the Sythis again. Pass the turn. I mean, I've seen multiple of this flipped. I don't know why in my head I just assumed I could bounce it. Also, if it was legendary, I wouldn't want to bounce it anyway. Because they're about to create another one, so that just doesn't make any sense. I believe Julian might have me dead here. Maybe I was supposed to play Touch of the Spirit Realm, because Reflection and Kiki Jiki can now copy Reflection of Kiki Jiki, and Julian can make a ton of them. Losing the die roll was very punishing this game. 4th Erlingas! I was not expecting that. Alright, so we were dead a number of ways. Fine, Julian, you got me. You out-Enchantressed me. Okay. So we're on the play now versus Painter. I probably want this Stony Silence. They got the Miri's Guile. I feel like that card's just a little underwhelming. Force of Vigor. We could board out the Rest in Peace combo, but, I mean, they do have Goblin Welders and stuff like that. Although I don't know if they're as common in the Shortcake version with white. We're at 62. I feel like Touch the Spirit Realm is probably worse than something like O-Ring. But we have to find cards to cut anyway. I think I'm just going to try this. Like, I'm probably not boarding correctly because this is my first time ever playing Enchantress, so bear with me. But it makes sense to me. Alright, this hand seems great. We will keep. Prismatic Vista, we will go grab a Forest, and then play Wild Growth. Pass the turn. Great Furnace, Grindstone. Okay. We'll play the Plains and then play Sterling Grove. I want to protect my Enchantress. And then we'll pass. There's a Saga, Lotus Petal, Goblin Engineer. The Engineer trigger resolves. Julian puts Painter Servant to the graveyard. You draw for turn, it's an Argothian. Interesting. Alright, so we have 3 mana right now. So I can play Enchantress, and then on Thin Ice. I think that's probably the play. Okay, so we'll start on Argothian, because then I can draw a card off of the Sith's Harvest hand. We draw an Enchantress's Presence, and then we'll enchant our Plains. I draw 2, and then we exile their Goblin Engineer. Pass the turn. Lotus Petal, another Goblin Engineer. Okay. Phyrexian Dragon Engine. In our upkeep, I can activate Sterling Grove for Rest in Peace. I think that's probably the play. Or not Rest in Peace, Stony Silence. This hurts my soul a little bit. We'll put Stony Silence on top and draw it. Let's thin a Plains. Oh no, I don't have another Plains. Whoops. Punt. Add it to the punt counter. I just messed up. Mistake. Alright. We will play Stony Silence. My bad. I should have played the Plains from hand. And then we can tap for this and we'll play Sterling Grove. Draw 2 more. And Julian concedes. Alright. Game 3. So, like, you could board in something like Deafening Silence to slow them down, but I feel like that's kind of a trap. I'm going to just resubmit here. Alright, so we go turn 1, Wild Growth, turn 2, Enchantress, Wild Growth. Is that good enough? I think it probably is. We'll keep. Plateau, Goblin Welder. Let's go search out a basic forest using this Prismatic Vista. Wild Growth. Pass the turn. Ancient Tomb, Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Julian gets in there. Okay. So Julian going for the beatdown plan. Utopia Sprawl. Alright, so we will play Argothian Enchantress, floating a green. And then play Wild Growth on our Plains. We'll draw a card. And next turn, we get to have a turn that's going to feel like a Storm deck, where we get to draw a bunch of cards and make a bunch of mana, all that stuff. No blocks. Ouch. Julian plays land number 4. I'm sorry, mana number 4, land number 3. A Goblin Engineer. Interesting. So this puts an artifact to the graveyard that Goblin Welder can then weld out using the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. And Julian grabs Trinisphere. Okay. Well, we have plenty of mana. We'll start by... How do I want to do this? I think we just want to fetch. Grab a forest. We'll play Utopia Sprawl on this land. Draw Destiny Spinner. We can pick white here. And now we can cast another spell, which can be our Enchantress's Presence. We're looking for a way to stop Julian at this point. We have enough card draw. We need to find something that actually prevents Julian from winning the game. So Julian can now weld out the Goblin, or weld out the Trinisphere for the Dragon Engine, and discard Julian's hand, draw 3. If there's a Painter Servant in here, that's kind of trouble for us. Julian exiles Simian Spirit Guide, discards Swords to Plowshares, and then welds back in the Trinisphere. Okay. So going into our next turn, we have 7 possible mana. So Sythis draws more cards. I'm just worried about being dead because our hand doesn't interact. So I guess I'll play the Sythis Harvest hand. Like, we just have to hope to not be dead, I think. So this will draw 2 cards. Auto yield. Sterling Grove could get Stony Silence next turn. We'll play the Sterling Grove. Force of Vigor. I can't pay for Trinisphere, but they might weld out Trinisphere, and then that would turn on the Force of Vigor. Play Caracas. We'll pass the turn. Discard Prismatic Vista. So if they weld out the Trinisphere, it does give me a potential to interact here. There's a Saga. Goblin Welder. They weld out the Trinisphere. Okay. Discards a pair of Pyroblast. Painter's Servant. Okay. They choose blue. They might have a Pyroblast here. On their end step, we'll target Grindstone and Painter Servant, exiling Argothian Enchantress. They blast it. Still in the end step. I'm going to activate Sterling Grove. We can go get Stony Silence. Okay, we will tap our land for 2. Play the Stony Silence. This draws 3. Hey, we hit a Serra Sanctum. I love that. Okay. Let's tap this land. Utopia Sprawl on this forest. We'll draw 3 more. Choose green. Wild Growth. Oh no. Okay, it didn't tap it. It tapped when I clicked it and I got very nervous. 29 cards left in our deck. I think we're supposed to tap this for green now. Alright, we'll play Abundant Growth on the Crocus. We have not drawn a Rest in Peace or the Helm of Obedience yet. We'll play a Sterling Grove. We still haven't drawn either half. Trying to think of what I'm supposed to do here. I think we're supposed to play the Sanctum, tap it for like 1 billion mana. Let's use a white, and then we'll go get Rest in Peace. We'll play an On Thin Ice. Draw some cards. Exile the Painter. Okay, and now what we can do is in Latent Tutor, put Helm of Obedience on top. Play the Rest in Peace. Okay. And now we draw the Helm. Play the Helm. Oh, I can't activate it because of the Stony Silence. That's funny. I completely forgot about that. Okay. What to do. Okay, so I think we play a Destiny Spinner. And I will now go to clean up. I can blow up my own Stony Silence with Force of Vigor and then win that way. I think that's the answer. Alright, in their upkeep, I'll target my own Stony Silence and Urza's Saga. Exile Abundant Growth. And then we'll pay 1. Target them with the Helm of Obedience. They target me with Grindstone. And we deck Julian. What a match. GG's, Julian. GG's. Alright, we are 1-0 in this Legacy League with Enchantress. Let's see if we can replicate that user's 5-0 run. I'd love that if we could, but I'm playing not at my best, well, because I've never played this deck before. So if you have any tips or anything, put it in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, we're going to go to match number 2, and I know that I'll see you there. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match number 2 on the play. This seems fine. We will keep. It's kind of funny. You click to watch the Epic Storm, and here I am, Bryant Cook, and I'm playing Basic Forest and Basic Plains in the same deck. Alright, let's play Utopia Sprawl. We'll choose green. Pass the turn. Fluted Delta. For a basic island. Ponder. Storm 1. They have 7 cards in hand. Player land. I'll float a green, and let's play Destiny Spinner. The Force of Will, the Destiny Spinner. Exiling a Daze. Love it. Alright, pass the turn. Main phase, they cast Brainstorm. Flooded Strand. For a Tundra. Ponder. Okay. What is this Cephalid Breakfast? Like, I'm trying to think of the Tundra Daze deck. We draw another Sythis Harvest hand. Let's play it. Why not? Play the Abundant Growth on the Forest. We'll draw a card, gain a life. Draw a card off the Abundant Growth, rest in peace. Pass the turn. We do have Beseiju up. I doubt that it's going to be relevant, but you never know. Urza's Saga. I'm definitely feeling Cephalid Breakfast here. Stoneforge Mystic. It could still be Cephalid Breakfast. And they grab a Shuko. Yep. I'm not crazy. Alright, we will fetch. Excuse me. They have 4 cards left in their hand. Let's grab a Savannah. We'll draw on Thin Ice. Tap this for 2. Let's attempt a Rest in Peace. Hey, that's good. So I don't think we have to fear the combo win at this point. Or at least this turn. So I'm going to slam Enchantress's Presence. That resolves. We will gladly pass the turn. Urza's Saga goes up to the 2nd chapter. They cycle a Step Through. I don't love that. I don't love that one bit. They pick up a Thassa's Oracle. They have Tundra, so they have 3 cards in hand. They equip Shuko to the Stoneforge Mystic. We'll take 2 down to 19. I'm a little bit nervous right now because they could grab another Shuko with their Urza's Saga. Then if they have Cephalid Illusionist, they can actually play through my Beseiju. We'll make green here. Enchant the Snow-Covered Plains. We'll draw 2. Another Rest in Peace, Enchantress. Use the green I have floating. I'll play Utopia Sprawl on the Savannah. Sterling Grove. So Sterling Grove could get a Touch the Spirit Realm. We'll play the Sterling Grove. Another On Thin Ice. No land. I kind of expected to draw a land at some point. I think we're in trouble. If they have Cephalid Illusionist and get a Shuko, I just lose. We'll play the On Thin Ice. Need like a Serra Sanctum off one of these draws. Nope. And still no land drop. So am I supposed to just play like our opponent doesn't have it? So I could play Abundant Growth, but that takes me off of the Beseiju. I feel like they have to get another Shuko, so like, is holding open the Beseiju even good? I think I'm just going to pass the turn. Attack for 1. Discard Enchantress's Presence. I just kind of have to hope that for some reason they draw the 2nd Shuko, or don't have it, and they do. Alright, so now we're rooting for no Illusionist, I guess? Nomads. So they had it a ton of different ways here. Okay. We have lost game number 1 to Cephalid Breakfast. I did what I could, it's just they had the win. What are my next 2? So I would have drawn the Serra Sanctum, and then I could have played another Rest in Peace. But the problem is I would have been off of green mana. So I would have had 1 green mana floating for the rest of this turn. I don't think this would have resulted in a win. Maybe I'm wrong. If I would have played the Abundant Growth floating a green. Well, actually, the Abundant Growth would have drawn a card. So it would have drawn the Sanctum and the Touch. But they could have responded with the Nomads. Yeah, there's just nothing I could have done there. I think we want the Fairy Macabres. Get rid of the Mary's Guile. I just don't think that card is that good. We might be able to cut a couple copies of On Thin Ice. Like, it's really only good against their backup plan. Let's try this. Game number 2. Excuse me. So, there's no forest. It does have the Fairy Macabre. I don't think we're allowed to keep this, though. It just doesn't play magic. Going to 6. This is better. Keep, and we'll put the Caracas on the bottom. Play a Wild Growth. Pass the turn. Ball therapy. So they're going to know that I have Fairy Macabre moving forward. And they named Enchantress's presence and hit. Wow. Okay. That's not cool. I drew another. Classic Magic Online. Play it. Pass the turn. They are passing the turn now. On thin ice. Let's play the Enchantress's presence floating a green. In case I draw like a Utopia Sprawl or something. No such luck. We will pass. Actually, get in there. I am the aggro. Rawr. They cycle a step through. Grabbing Thassa's Oracle. Why are you like this? You can't just let me get a game. They play the Cephalid Illusionist. And Nomads. So they have 4 cards left in hand. We know that one of them is the Thassa's Oracle. Okay. We're going to fetch using Prismatic Vista. Grab a Plains. Cast on Thin Ice. We'll draw 2 cards. We need them to not have a Force of Will here. It resolves. We will take their Illusionist. They mill 3. 2 Forces and a Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, yeah, because they can deck themselves here. Or, well, most of themselves here. I don't know how I beat this. It's not like our deck has discard. So they're going to mill almost their entire deck. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. We should probably exile the Nomad, or the Narcomoebas. They have 1 Narcomoeba left. They have a Serenity. And the way that it works is they're going to end up with 1 card left in their deck, which is just enough for Thassa's Oracle. So, I don't think we can do anything that I can think of. Play Wild Growth on the Sanctum. Utopia Sprawl doesn't really help us here. It doesn't make mana, at least. Okay, we'll draw 2 more. Another Utopia Sprawl. Trying to think of what our out could be, and I just don't think there is one. Besage doesn't help because they have 3 lands. We only have 1 Besage in our deck, and we don't have any green mana. Yeah, we were just outplayed. I don't know if there was a whole lot that I could have done this match. They just beat me. That happens in Magic. There's the Oracle. Womp womp. We are now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Match number 3, we're on the draw. We've opened up an interesting hand. We don't have land number 2. I mean, we do have Abundant Growth and Miri's Guile, but I'm not sure if I love that. It's a little bit risky. I'm going to keep it, but this could bite me in the butt. Opponent plays Volcanic Island. The Enchantress was good, but we have to find land number 2. Play this card that I don't think is very good, Miri's Guile. Pass the turn. They cycle a Lurien Revealed or Underground Sea. They play the land Thoughtseize. Sure. Goodbye Sterling Grove. Okay. Land 2? Yes, I want to use this. We do not find land number 2. It's disappointing. Play the Wild Growth. We will pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Bloodstained Mire, quickly activates it. 3 blue. Narset, that is illegal. You're not allowed to play that. Wow. Someone call the police. This is just so cruel. There's the land. So between On Thin Ice and Touch the Spirit Realm, we don't actually have an answer in our main deck for Narset. When we come back here and look at our deck list, On Thin Ice, creature, Touch the Spirit Realm, artifact, or creature. We have no outs to Narset whatsoever, other than Destiny Spinner activating to make a creature that can attack the Narset. Ay, ay, ay. Grab a basic Plains and we'll play Rest in Peace. I guess I could have played the creature so that way if they minus the Narset I can attack it. Maybe that was the move. But they took the Sterling Grove on purpose, right? Because they wanted to be able to kill this creature. So I don't even know how good of a move that was. They find Force of Will. Miri's Guile. None of these are great. I guess we take the land. Play the Sythis Harvest Hand. So they probably have a removal spell, but if they didn't, they could just Force of Will it, and we know that they have the Force of Will. Orcish Bowmasters. They play Ponder. They did not shuffle. They have Snuff Out. And a Brainstorm. They attack for 2, we go to 15. Miri's Guile triggers. I think I've seen enough. We can just go to game number 2. We definitely need Oblivion Ring. We can get rid of Touch the Spirit Realm. So Leyline of Sanctity is interesting because it shuts off Orcish Bowmasters and Thoughtseize, and we saw Thoughtseize in game number 1. So I kind of don't hate having it. Let's cut the Miri's Guile. Enlightened Tutor. We don't want card disadvantage in this matchup. And then like maybe 2 copies of On Thin Ice. Game 2 on the play. Sure, this seems reasonable. Keep. Our opponent has also kept their hand. Prismatic Vista. We'll play the Abundant Growth. Boom, had it the whole time. Never even needed to worry. Bloodstained Mire. Into Ponder. They did not shuffle with their Ponder. Another Argothian. Let's test the waters here. Argothian Enchantress. They have the Force of Will. Exiling a Brazen Borrower. They cycle a Lorien Revealed for a Underground Sea. I was thinking about it if I got Thoughtseize there. Helm. Play Destiny Spinner. Serra Sanctum. Rest in Peace. They snuff out the Destiny Spinner. Rest in Peace. End step, they cast a Brainstorm. They missed their 3rd land drop. Let's try the Enchantress. This might draw out a Force, and then that clears the way for Helm. We only have 2 enchantments, so I can't play Helm here while playing around something like Daze. Maybe I should just jam it, though. I'm gonna feel foolish if like I get Dazed or Callaghan's Command, whatever. Force of Negation, exiling Hull Breacher. Okay. So they opened on double Force. I had my Destiny Spinner, but they had the Snuff Out. There just wasn't a lot I could have done there. Player land. I'm going to attempt to exile the Orcish Bowmasters here. Their Orc army will get a little bit bigger first. Another Force. Wow. Triple Force. We'll play Utopia Sprawl. On Thin Ice was a very good draw for us. Let's play the On Thin Ice. So they have a 4/4, but we're in a pretty good spot here. So this will knock me down to 9 life. Cast Oblivion Ring. This is going to eat the Orc token. We'll play our Vista, and then I have to pass the turn. I don't think I want to fetch when I'm at 9, and they're an Orcish Bowmasters deck. Play Enchantress's Presence. Leyline, that was a good one. Alright, we'll float 2 white. I draw 2 lands. That's a bummer. I could have fetched, I guess. We will pass the turn. Opponent has 4 cards in hand now. In our upkeep, I'll fetch. We have 1 land left. 1 fetchable with that, at least. We'll play a Sythis Harvest Hand. I'll draw 2. Hard cast another Leyline. Maybe I should have just tapped the Serra Sanctum, because I cut myself off of a bunch of green mana there. Snuff out on the Syths. That's fine. Destiny Spinner. We'll play another one. Rest in Peace. All the cards. And I'm out of green mana. Our opponent really wanted land number 3 this game. So they're a Hull Breacher Orcish Bowmasters Narset deck. And we're playing green-white draw cards. We got a little bit lucky there that they never hit their 3rd land. So if they have Hull Breacher, I probably want all of the On Thin Ice. I think I'm going to take out Abundant Growth. It's just the least impactful of those effects. Game 3. Yeah, this hand seems fine. I mean, I need to draw another land, because currently the Serra Sanctum doesn't do anything, but I think it's good enough. If only this Enlightened Tutor was the Abundant Growth that is bordered out. Clearly all my fault. Leyline right on time. They cycle a Lorien Revealed and a Brainstorm. Okay. So they have 6 cards in hand. One of them is likely the Underground Sea. They could have put it back. And now we're hit by Thoughtseize, and they get to see that I drew Leyline and that I don't have a second land. They take the Oblivion Ring, probably because it's an answer to Narset. And we missed on the enchantment and the land, so we'll pass. There's the Narset. We only have one Oblivion Ring in our deck that deals with this. They find another Narset. There's the land. I think I'm supposed to get a Plains here. Because if they just counter my Destiny Spinner or kill it, I'm cut off of white. We'll play the Sythis because I can attack the Narset next turn. They're playing Daze. Okay. I wasn't sure. I mean, this is the first time we've seen it this match. It's a little bit of a weird inclusion in Grixis control, but yeah, you got me. Daze Undoing. Alright, I'm going to call it unfortunate. So we are now 1-2 with 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. We are back at it in match number 4. Yeah, very good hand. We will keep. Player land, pass the turn. Tropical Island, Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Our opponent draws a card. I think this turn we just want to play Sterling Grove. They're not likely to force it, and that it means that my Destiny Spinner could lock down the game for casting spells. They're going to daze this. Okay. Sure. They play a Brainstorm. Our opponent replays the Tropical Island. Wild Growth. I think I'm just going to play the Destiny Spinner. Pass the turn. They have Lightning Bolt. Okay. So Force is back online now. I'm going to try the Argothian. Hey, it resolves. Great news. Wasteland's a little bit of a bummer here. Our mana's kind of tight at the moment, so just like I don't want to have to play into Daze. Looks like they're going to play a Murktide Regent as a 5/5. Sure. We'll play Wild Growth on the basic plains. I'll draw a card. Hey, we hit that land drop. I love it. I'm going to fetch again. Grab the other plains. We'll play On Thin Ice. I thought this was going to be a 5/5. I guess it ended up being a 6/6 and I missed something. And now I'll play Rest in Peace. There will be no more Murktide Regents. Pass the turn. They have another Wasteland, Mishra's Bauble. Also crazy to think that, something I just noticed. This deck list has 0 Elephant Grass in it. Like, this deck has become so good that you're not playing Solitary Confinement or Elephant Grass anymore. It's kind of wild. I realized that I could draw a Serra Sanctum later on this turn, but I also feel like we're kind of pinched on, like, mana in general, especially green mana, so I'm playing this out now. Maybe that's a little preemptive, but was my thought process. I'm going to lead on Enchantress's Presence, and then another Rest in Peace. I could play the Sythis Harvest Hand, but if I do that, it could eat a Daze or a Lightning Bolt, and I'd rather just, you know, make sure that I get to draw my cards and resolve my spell. Like, I also don't care if this gets countered. Pass the turn. Are we seeking the beast? We are. They reveal a pair of lands. Questing Druid and a Ponder. Alright, so we draw Wild Growth. I'm going to start this turn by playing the Sythis Harvest Hand. If they kill it, that's fine at this point. We draw Destiny Spinner. That was a good draw. Play Wild Growth on the plains. We'll draw 3. We'll play a Utopia Sprawl in the untapped forest. Draw 3 more. A green for that. I guess I could fetch out the last basic forest instead of waiting for the Serra Sanctum this turn. Our opponent had enough. Okay. Game number 2. Do we even sideboard in this matchup? That's a really good question. Alright, we're going to take the worst card out of the deck and just put it in an O-ring. I'm sorry to whoever is a big Miri's Guile fan and I'm just trashing their favorite card or whatever, but this card is poopy, and I want to take every bad card out of the deck. So whoever built this deck list had, you know, 74 really good cards, and they should be pretty happy with that. But I do not like Miri's Guile. Ponder. They did not shuffle on the Ponder. We could just play Turbine Abundant Growth here. We draw Utopia Sprawl, that was fine. They cast another Ponder. They did not shuffle that one either. Okay, so we will fetch, grab a forest, play Utopia Sprawl. We'll say white, and I'm just not going to play in a Daze, so we'll pass. Dragon's Rage Channeler, you got it. And then Brainstorm. Wasteland. Not much good here. We'll play Sterling Grove. The Force of Will pitching Daze. Love that. 3 cards left in their hand. The Dragon's Rage Channeler is now Delirious. We're just going to pass. Once again, no need to play into Daze. I don't care if they just exiled 1 to Force of Will or not. So the attack will put me to 16. In our upkeep, I will fetch down to 15. We'll go get a basic Plains. Windswept Heath. Let's try the Destiny Spinner. And then Argothian Enchantress. So they would need Lightning Bolt plus Force of Will here. And that resolved. Love that. And step, they Seek the Beast. They surveil away Murktide Regent. And then reveal Wasteland Mishra's Bauble. They play Wasteland for turn. Here's the Questing Druid. And they're going to bolt my Destiny Spinner. Okay. They surveil away a Daze. So that's 2 days is gone now. Mishra's Bauble. And then another Bauble from hand. Okay. They look at our top card. I'm going to take 3 going down to 12 life. And in my upkeep, I'm going to fetch going down to 11. So things are starting to look a tiny bit dicey. Grab the Forest. So now they look at my top card again. On Thin Ice. That's a good one. Let's play the Sith's Harvest Hand. We'll draw a card. Helm of Obedience. We'll play On Thin Ice. I'll draw 2 cards and gain a life. We will exile the Questing Druid because I can play Rest in Peace to make this channeler not very relevant. I'll go to 11. Grab the basic Plains. Play the Rest in Peace. We'll draw 2, gain a life. And our opponent concedes. Take that, Rug Delver. There's 1 match left to go. We're 2-2. Stick around and see if we can finish with a positive record. I'll see you there. The best Legacy podcast? That would be Eternal Glory featuring myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We're available on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. The final match, Legacy Enchantress, Selesnya Storm combo. Let's try to finish this. Alright, so we do have 2 mana. I think that this is probably a keep. Our opponent has taken a mulligan. Also, I hate Miri's Guile so much. Like, if this was the Abundant Growth, I would be way happier than having Miri's Guile in this hand. Played the Wild Growth. There's only 3 Abundant Growth, which is why I mentioned that. There's 4 Utopia Sprawl, 4 Wild Growth, but Abundant Growth, there's only 3. Turn 1 Ponder. They did not shuffle in the Ponder. White Source. Not quite. We'll play Miri's Guile. Play Wild Growth. Pass the turn. Miri's Guile triggers. We find our White Source. Love that. Although I don't think I want these other cards, so I'm going to take the Windswept Heath. And I'm just going to pass. So you might be saying, why not play Destiny Spinner or the Sith's Harvest Hand? I just think that our opponent could be on like a Beanstalk control deck. And if they are, do I really want to just like do 2 actions that aren't super meaningful and pass? Okay. It is looking like a Beanstalk deck. Leyline Binding. Wow, okay. I take back everything I've ever said about Miri's Guile. It was so good that it ate up a Leyline Binding. I love that. That card stinks. Can't believe our opponent wasted a Leyline Binding on it. They have 5 cards in hand. Enlightened Tutor. Let's try a Destiny Spinner here. It eats a Force of Will. They have 3 cards left in their hand. I'm going to play the Sith's Harvest Hand. Unfortunately, we have to pass from here. They Swords to Plowshares. Not surprised. In my upkeep, I'm going to Enlightened Tutor. And I think we want Enchantress's Presence. Play the Enchantress's Presence. Woo! It resolved. How about that? The question is, can it stick around? 3 mana from our opponent. Changing their mind, maybe? What's going on here? Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. You got it. I hope they play that Uro so I have something to cast these on Thin Ice to target. I mean, I guess I could play them for no value or whatever, but why would I want to do that? Sterling Grove is a good one. Let's play that. Triggers. They Force of Negation. So they drew the Force after I played Enchantress's Presence. That's good for us. Touch the Spirit Realm. Okay. Touch the Spirit Realm, a friendly reminder, it's artifact and creature. It does not hit enchantment, it does not hit planeswalkers. I am not convinced Touch the Spirit Realm is better than the main deck Oblivion Ring. Like, I think we just need answers to things like Leyline Binding or Narset. I get the channel mode was relevant against Cephalid Breakfast, I really do understand that. But I'm just not convinced it's correct. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath is back. They play a land, they have 2 cards left in their hand. Savannah will play On Thin Ice. They fetch in response. I really hope they force this On Thin Ice, that would be amazing. Brainstorm in response. Another Enchantress's Presence. I don't think that they're a Daze deck, so I'm just going to play it. And then if I could draw into a, what is it called? Serra Sanctum, I could have played more enchantments, but I didn't, so we'll pass. I don't see the point in just like throwing these away. I'm going to see what they do this turn, and then I can reevaluate on my next turn. Up the Beanstalk. Yep. Mystic Sanctuary. Puts Brainstorm on top. Interesting. 2 cards left in their hand. We draw a land. I'll play an On Thin Ice. 1 mana, draw 2. I'll take it. I was trying to hold it to make sure they didn't play anything else this turn, but we need to just start winning the game. Tap for a bunch of green. We'll play an Abundant Growth on this land. Another Enchantress's Presence. Draw a card off the Abundant Growth. Another On Thin Ice. Play a 3rd copy of Enchantress's Presence. Play the basic forest. We'll pass. Whose green enchantment draws more cards, Beanstalk? Come on. Keep up. Endurance. Sure. You got it. They play the Brainstorm that they put on top of their deck using the Mystic Sanctuary. 4th Aerlingas. So they're attacking for 11 here. Okay. Argothian. We'll play an On Thin Ice. I draw 3. We'll exile the Endurance. Tap for white. Another copy of On Thin Ice. We'll draw 3 more. We found Serra Sanctum. Big fan of that. We'll play the Sanctum. Makes 10 white mana. We'll play Rest in Peace. Exiles all the graveyards. Tap for green. We'll play a Destiny Spinner. And Helm of Obedience. How about that? Activate targeting you for 1. So we're about to deck our opponent. Sweet. And we get a good look at their deck. They have Terminus, Teferi, Time Raveler, 4th Aerlingas. Yeah, pretty sweet deck. Alright, On Thin Ice is probably not the best card in this matchup. We could take those out. Our opponent is on Leyline Bindings and Beanstalk, so let's board in Force of Vigor. Oblivion Ring. I think that's fine. Let's submit this. Game number 2. Keep. This hand is so good. Our opponent's taking a mulligan. Basic Plains. Beseiju. Okay. Well, we're going to fetch for a basic forest here. And we'll play Wild Growth. I was a little bit bummed when I first uploaded this deck list. I noticed the snow basics. And I'm not proud to admit this. But so I was like, I don't want to play snow basics. I love my basics. I want to play my invasion basics. Big fan of them. And then I started recording the deck tech. I was halfway through. And then I realized that On Thin Ice was Snowland. And I was so disappointed. That is the truth. And a little bit bummed. Enlightened Tutor. Let's test out an Argothian Enchantress here. That resolved. Play Savannah and pass the turn. They play land number 3. They find a volcanic island. Teferi, Time Raveler. I'm going to respond by casting Enlightened Tutor. I think I'm just going to grab a Wild Growth. If I were them, I wouldn't even minus the Teferi here. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, they plussed it. Okay, I'm going to play a Sythis Harvest Hand. Draw a card using the Argothian. Serra Sanctum was an amazing draw there. We'll play the Sanctum. Play the Wild Growth on the Sanctum. We'll draw 2 and gain a life. Tap for mana. Let's play the Sterling Grove. And pass the turn. Let's attack Teferi. Send a message. Huh! Teferi was unfazed. Rude. They bounce my Sterling Grove. Swords to Plowshares on the Sythis Harvest Hand. That's fine. And a Ponder. They Surgical Extraction my Singleton Enlightened Tutor. Love that for us. Okay. We will start by casting a Destiny Spinner. Draw a card off Argothian. Play the basic forest. We'll play an Abundant Growth on the Savannah. Why not? Doesn't really matter. Tap the Serra Sanctum. We have 5 mana. I guess I'll play the Argothian. Tap for a green. Enchantress's Presence. And we'll pass. We can discard Prismatic Vista. They Swords the Destiny Spinner. They plus Teferi. They have 3 cards in their hand. Titan of Nature's Wrath. They are back to 2 cards in hand. They cannot play Leyline Binding because it would cost 2 mana. Play the Wild Growth. We'll draw 3. Tap Wild Growth. We'll play Sterling Grove. Tap the Wild Growth for a bunch of green mana. We'll play Utopia Sprawl on the Savannah. We'll draw 3 more. Another Utopia Sprawl. I'm just looking for another Destiny Spinner at this point. We'll say green again. Play Wild Growth on the Savannah. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just play the Helm of Obedience. That resolved. We'll play the other Serra Sanctum. Rest in peace. Exiles all the graveyards. That's the league. We went 3-2. My first time ever playing Enchantress. That's pretty sweet. I don't really have too many thoughts on the deck list. I did think it was pretty good. For what it's worth, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was pretty competitive. Me bashing Miri's Guile is mostly for jokes. I don't think it's that good. I'd prefer the 4th Abundant Growth, but overall, this deck list felt pretty impressive. I would like to see the Oblivion Rings in the main deck overtouch the Spirit Realm, and that could open up some more sideboard slots. Like, in an era with Leovold, Narset, Hullbreacher, you need something to deal with. I guess a couple of those are creatures. So I guess if, like, maybe I'm overly concerned with Narset. It just doesn't feel like Touch the Spirit Realm is what we want, but I could be wrong. I'm willing to accept that, so I don't know. Take my opinions with a grain of salt, but that's what I've got. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. See ya. Have a great day. Keep storming. You know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoyed the deck list in today's video, go to the comment section, check out that pinned comment where you will find 2 links. One for TCG Player, so you can buy the deck, and the other is so that you can rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Card Hoarder is the best rental service for Magic Online. They truly make playing online extremely affordable. Go check out Card Hoarder today.